Governor Greg Abbott is escalating his offensive against the Council on American Islamic Relations. This is Wednesday, December 3rd, 2025.
Texas Scorecard presents the day's first news for the Lone Star State. The Texas Minute, with your host, Michael Quinn Sullivan.
Welcome into this Wednesday edition of the Texas Minute. Thanks for spending part of your day learning about the issues facing the Lone Star State. Texas Tech is prohibiting the practice of race and sex-based political advocacy masquerading as scholarship. More on that coming up. As part of an escalating series of actions against the Council on American Islamic Relations, Governor Greg Abbott has formally requested that the U.S. Secretary of the Treasury begin the process of revoking the organization's tax-exempt status. The governor argues that CAIR has abused its tax-exempt status and accuses the organization of operating, quote, as a front group for Hamas in the United States. Last month, Governor Abbott designated both CAIR and the Muslim Brotherhood as foreign terrorist organizations under Texas law. He also called for probes into alleged Sharia-based tribunals operating in North Texas. Just hours after State Representative Gary Van Dever announced that he wouldn't be seeking re-election, one of his allies, Paris businessman Josh Bray, declared his candidacy for the House District 1 seat, immediately setting up a contested Republican primary. Bray enters a race that already includes Chris Spencer, who previously ran with the endorsement of Governor Greg Abbott and forced Van Dever into a 2022 primary runoff. Spencer had announced his campaign earlier this year, well before Van Dever's retirement. Questions are now being raised about Bray's Republican credentials. Voting records show that in 2008, Bray cast a ballot in the Democrat primary. That was the year that Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton were competing for the presidential nomination. Bray also contributed financially to former Democrat State Representative Mark Homer. Under a new policy announced this week, the Texas Tech University system is prohibiting what it calls the advocacy of sex and race-based prejudice in course content within the system's 5 institutions. The policy includes a warning that noncompliance can result in disciplinary action. Chancellor Brandon Creighton announced the policy in a memo to the system's 5 campus presidents. He also outlines a course content review process with various responsibilities assigned to professors, department chairs, deans, and provosts. Creighton's memo follows recent moves by Texas State University to establish standards that replace this sort of advocacy with value-neutral instruction. Texas A&M regents recently banned advocacy of gender ideology and race ideology. So basically, professors are supposed to be educating, not indoctrinating. It's a little crazy that even has to be said. The Texas Minute will be right back.
What are the important things out there in Texas politics and Texas news that matter to you, and what can you do about it? That's what we want to bring you with the Luke Macias Show on a weekly basis for 20 to 30 minutes. That way you can get the information and go do something for the rest of your week. I look forward to coming to you every Wednesday.
An implementation document being circulated by the Texas Library Association is informing school librarians that they don't have to remove existing books that violate new state content standards. That's guidance conflicting with both the text of the law and the author's stated intent. Republican State Senator Angela Paxton of McKinney authored the legislation overhauling how Texas school districts select, approve, and handle challenges to library materials. The law also creates new definitions and prohibitions aimed at keeping sexually explicit content out of school libraries. The TLA asserts that school districts have no obligation to look backward at what's already on their shelves. Paxton, though, says that's incorrect. Regardless of when sexually explicit material was acquired, the center said that districts must still comply with the law. That means if a parent brings a challenge to a book that doesn't meet guidelines, Paxton says it must be removed. You can find details on that story and the others mentioned today and keep up with the latest news by visiting TexasScorecard.com. This edition of the Texas Minute was based on the original reporting of Brandon Waltons, Adam Kahn, and Sydney Henry. Our producer is Nick Shepard. I look forward to seeing you out around the Lone Star State. Now let's go make it a great day.